Eric,
Yes.
before going back, let's talk a little bit. You have a YouTube channel and your show, Life and Whatever Else.
Yes.
Do tell us, like, it's 9 years you've been producing it. What was your maybe initial goal to where you are now?
When I first started the channel, it was kind of just messing around. I just was like, let's see where this goes. Because like around the time that I started it, I want to say that a lot of people were starting to do like video podcasting and stuff like that. So because I didn't have like any radio equipment or anything like that at home. So I was like, how do I like do this stuff?
Yeah.
So when I found out about like MNN and everything like that, I was like, oh, they have all the stuff that I would need to be able to do this. So when I first started, you know, the name too, Life and Whatever Else, was kind of like, well, what's the show going to be about? I was like, life and whatever else, like my life, whatever else is going on.
You're very thoughtful and you're so knowledgeable of all things.
Yeah, I try to be.
And I think you're incredibly talented.
Thank you.
And the camera loves you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
By the way, I didn't do this.
Oh, look at me. Look at me.
You're wearing the same thing.
I know. Look at that.
Almost.
Wait, no, it's different.
No, it's
different sweater,
it's a zipper.
but
You're wearing a
almost the
zipper
same
today.
thing. Different facial hair too, but I actually like that picture. Wow, look at me.
One of the things you're so knowledgeable in is sports.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about when your love for sports began.
So the funny thing about my love for sports is that it really started a little later in life, because when I was growing up, I really did not watch a lot of sports. I kind of watched like major events. Like I would watch like when the Knicks were in the playoffs or when the Rangers, like in 1994, the New York Knicks and the Rangers both went to the finals, you know, in their sports. And so that was kind of like the first, like I had known about it, but that was like the first year where I really paid attention to a lot. I was already like, 7 years old at the time. So I kind of was a late bloomer, I guess. Like I really didn't grow up with a lot of people around me, like diehard sports fans or anything like that. So I had to kind of discover things as we went along. So I think like as I got older, through the years, me trying to discover new things that I had never really known before, like really, how do I say, like piqued my interest, I guess. Yeah. And so things kind of just went from there through the years, and like it's just become a passion of mine.
A passion.
Yes.
I know you love basketball and wrestling. Wrestling.
Yeah. Wrestling. Wrestling was probably, I know a lot of people say, oh, it's fake and everything like that. But if we were actually to pick out
they're athletes.
Yes, they are. And if I were to pick out like the first thing that I was a fan of, it would probably be wrestling. That's probably what I grew up watching the most. But then, I probably picked up, the next thing that I picked up as and it became a real diehard fan of, I would probably say was basketball. Basketball and hockey were like the two at the time. Like hockey I became a fan of because I always loved the goalie mask that the goalies would wear, because they had like cool designs on them and everything like that. So I grew up and I was like, oh, that's real cool. I want to be like a goalie one day.
I feel like all I know from being a goalie or a hockey, it's either Jason.
Yeah.
The horror film.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like wasn't there a character in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who wore like a hockey mask? Or is that?
There was Shredder. Did Shredder wear a hockey mask?
No, Shredder.
Not Shredder.
Shredder wore
Not Shredder.
Fabulous shoulder pads with spikes on them.
Yeah.
There was. We're gonna have to look into that.
There probably was. The original mask that the goalies wore were like the Jason mask. And then eventually they evolved into like really fancy like designs and everything like that. And so
glow in the dark.
Yeah. They were really fancy. Maybe not glow in the dark, but like they were really fancy and like really cool. But so it was hockey and like basketball, and then eventually like came baseball and football.
What is the need or necessity for having like fancy sports gear on your players, right? It could be the jerseys, what they're playing with.
I think a lot of it now is a lot of companies, like they obviously see revenue in it. Like if an athlete's wearing like a fancy jersey or a fancy design or something like that, then everybody's going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, we see it with the Jordan sneakers all
That's
the
right.
time, like people getting in line wanting to get them. But another thing we see a lot of is like retro jerseys.
I remember as a kid, and there was just one random going back to school semester that my mother had some money.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I get new clothes for school this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And today I'm wearing a wind shirt. But I think it was a pullover. It was a starter
Oh, okay.
jacket. And I think it was like a hockey team or something.
Okay.
Because I loved, and I don't remember. I don't know if it was Sharks or something. Is it Sharks?
There is a Sharks hockey team.
And I also loved the colors, so I also got like the hats for the basketball team, the Charlotte Hornets, because I just love like the colors. But that's where my knowledge of sports ended.
Yeah, and that's like something that helps like bridge the gap between people who wouldn't normally be sports fans and, you know, and people involved in sports is like there might be people who are involved in fashion who are like, oh, well, I don't really watch sports. But then they'll see a fancy design or something like that and be like, wow, that's really nice.
One part of the business of sports is the broadcasting of it.
Yes.
You studied communications is it Iona College or Iona University?
So
or have they changed?
It was Iona College when I was there. It's now Iona University.
They waited till after you left to upgrade it.
Yeah, still after I left. Yeah.
You should just call it university now.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know why I said college before, but I guess it's a little confusing for people who were there when it was a college.
Is this a college or a university?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, what is communications? Like, what was your interest?
So my interest was always like TV and video, basically. That's like what I got into it for. Like that's what I studied when I was there. Like there were other areas, obviously. There's like PR and there's radio, marketing, all that stuff. I was TV and video. Yeah. And, you know, the funny thing about TV and video is that and we always used to joke about it over there because it was a relatively small department, is that it always feels like the outcasts.
The dorks in the radio station and
not
the
even
TV
really
studio.
There were some. There were some. I
was one of them. But.
There's always some, but I would say it was more just the people who were like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. So they ended up
I just want to touch buttons, man, for now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or they didn't want to do something harder. So they were like, oh, I'll just do like mass communications. And then,
until they learned the production part of it.
Yeah,
it's
they
work.
would realize that it's hard. It's not easy. But we were like in this department and like we were like one of the furthest buildings because like you have the main campus and then our building was like off to the side across the street and we were like in the top floor. So we were like considered like the outcasts. Like people would come up to that department for something and they'd be like, man, you guys are all crazy up here. And we were kind of crazy at the time, actually.
Well, everyone's a little crazy.
Everybody.
Now, did you yourself play a sport?
Not really like competitively, but like I've done everything for fun, basically. Yeah. Whether it was like in school, like intramurals or just with friends or like, you know, out and about in the park or whatever. So
you suck.
Yeah, pretty much. It was
I used to wear boots to gym class on purpose.
Oh, man.
So I couldn't participate. Oh, I can't participate. Oh, no. I left my sneakers at home.
I wasn't one of those types. I was the one, who I think if I committed myself more to it, I think I could have been, decent. Not like any major athlete or anything like that. But I think if I had committed myself more, I could have actually done it.
I mean, that's any craft, right?
Because, exactly.
You got to log in your 10,000 hours.
Exactly. Because I could say I almost forgot this. This is like really important. I did run indoor track when I was in high school. Because mainly the reason I did indoor track was because I would look for something to do in the wintertime because I just didn't want to go home right away.
Yeah.
So indoor track was like the only sport you didn't have to actually try out for. You just kind of showed up. Like, I just did this for an activity, not really to like be great at it.
I love it. Your mother has to be so proud of you. What?
She is. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I would be. You're a good guy.
Mm-hmm. I also did taekwondo.
Oh.
I also
that
did
was
taekwondo.
Expensive.
Yeah.
For mom.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what sucks about it? I have one real regret about my time doing taekwondo is that I never went after my black belt. I got to like the level right before black belt, at least in the school.
Which is what? Yellow?
At the school I was at, because they're like different schools.
Blue.
I was a double black stripe, which was like
Oh.
red belt with 2 black stripes, and then you go for your black belt.
Sounds like New York Fashion Week.
Yeah. A lot of my friends kind of dropped out, went elsewhere. And so they would tell me, they'd be like, hey, like you're kind of advanced for like the kids classes or whatever, so you should take the adult classes. So then I got bored taking the adult classes because I was like,
There's nowhere to grow.
It was more like I liked the people that I was around, like, you know, people that are around my age that were friendly. I was taking classes with people who were like, you know, 15 years older than me. And so there were times where like I had to like slow down for them, or I was like,
come here, sonny.
Yeah, not that old.
I know.
But like I eventually like I just kind of like dropped out of it because I was like, I didn't really want to do it. Like I would go there and just kind of spend my time doing something else other than class. And so I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I regret I regret not getting my black belt. I really do.
From your point of view, what is and what makes a good sports commentator?
I think somebody that just doesn't take away from the game and make it about themselves. And I'm like, it's not about you. Like, if you have an opinion about the game, that's fine or whatever. But, you know, don't make everything about yourself.
We want to know the cold, hard facts of the data of this game.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the business of it. You know, let's get someone maybe who's not a great sports commentator, but a great personality.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who I think are trying to make themselves a name as opposed to kind of adding to what you're watching.
You're not being additive to the experience. Okay, so who are some sports commentators that inspire you, that provides spectators comprehension and brings levity to the sports they're commenting on?
There's never been anybody that's really like caught my eye, like, wow, like I need to listen to this person.
Yeah.
But I know from watching a lot of like local games, like a lot of the local teams, like I just enjoy the people who always like provide you with a little bit of knowledge, basically, that just tell you, hey, like that's
what you signed up for.
Yeah. Like this play happened. This is why it happened. This is, you know, the gist of it. So you understand why, you know, like one of my favorite things, and I always say this, is when I'm watching a sporting event and somebody, like, let's say they go to a commercial break or whatever, let's say it's baseball, between innings, go to commercial break, and they come back and they give you a detailed explanation of why something happened on a play. Because I feel like too often people, like especially on TV, because you don't have access to like every angle or whatever, so you don't see everything that happens. A lot of people try to speculate like, oh, this person wasn't running hard, or this person, you know, wasn't paying attention or whatever. And they'll explain, no, this person had to hold up because they had to watch to make sure that the ball wasn't going to be caught before they ran. Yeah. So then when they ran, you know, that's why they were thrown out at the plate, because, you know, they had to stop for that split second. So they explain that to you. And I always appreciate, like, those things are things that I appreciate. So I don't really look for like one particular person, but I look for things in a broadcast that like really stand out to me.
That resonate with you. It sounds like, though, to me, you got this calling for really giving detailed about how a sport is played or how a game is played and who the athletes played in that game and how they played and why they play and the business of it is because you feel like it's been something missing for you. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You can be inspired by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day I'm inspired by myself.
Show's over. Okay, so
that's it.
What is currently going on in the world of sports? Any sport that is a must-know or must-discuss topic.
We just had the Super Bowl, which was pretty interesting because the Kansas City Chiefs were going for 3 championships in a row. Mm-hmm. It hadn't been done in a long time.
Which is still an impressive feat.
Just to get to a championship game, 3 years in a row and everything like that, that's big, It's funny, it's kind of a dead time in like the sports calendar right now because between the Super Bowl and like when the NCAA tournament happens, it's kind of like a dead period.
I know something happened recently in the NBA world.
The All-Star game happened on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, it was a mess. It was a mess, actually. I don't know if that's what you heard. Like, there's a lot of talk about All-Star games in general and whether they're really that appealing nowadays because, like, people have so much access to every game, every star. We see everybody play each other. Yeah, so it's like, and it's not like back in the day where like you would only have you would have your team and then maybe a couple national games. You could see everybody you want. So like there's no real appeal to it. So the NBA is the NBA and the NHL actually have like their all-star breaks now. And like the NHL tried something different where they have like this 4 nations face-off where like 4 countries, US, Canada, Sweden, Finland, play each other in a like mini tournament. Mm-hmm. It's a change from the normal all-star format. And the NBA tried something different where they had like a tournament between all-star players and young players. And
yeah, it was a mess. Sounds like I don't care.
It was a mess. The dunk contest was a mess. Everything. I don't want to bore you with the...
Yeah. I think you have a great talent for speaking to those who are a fan of sports and those who don't even know they're interested or might have, somewhere in that Venn diagram can find some interest.
Yeah. I like talking to people who get interested in something. Like sometimes I hate when people ask me a question and then I feel like it's in one ear, out the other. Like as soon as you say it, they're like, whatever.
I really hope that wasn't an accusation you just threw at me.
No, not at all.
Okay, so my next question, actually it's going to be a long-winded statement.
Okay, let me get ready.
We are living in the world. I am queer.
Yes, let me have a little
have a little sip of water. We're going to have a sip of water. Is it ASMR? What is it?
Yes,
Hi, this is me sipping on a cup, sipping on some water.
I love those because it's like you have to make the slurping sound because if you don't, it's what's the point?
One sports issue of the day that I feel resonates with me, according to Education North Carolina.org, I believe, sports provides significant physical, emotional, and social advantages for vulnerable youth. That includes transgender adolescents. Sports can help transgender students overcome feelings of isolation and allow them to develop positive self-images. That's sports for anyone, right? A 2024 study in the National Library of Medicine found that transgender athletes who face social discrimination and inequality, particularly in sports participation, results in mental health, psychological distress, and emotional issues that often lead to higher rates of suicide. Mm-hmm. The Human Rights Campaign has stated there has been considerable amount of disinformation and misinformation about what the inclusion of transgender athletes means and what that means in sports. Many states and athletic organizations have for years already found success in balanced fairness, inclusion of trans athletes, and access to play without any problems. According to the BBC, the debate centers around the balance of inclusion, sporting fairness, and safety in women's sports, which I find fair, right? That's a fair concern. Essentially, whether trans women can compete in female categories without their biological sex giving them an unfair advantage or presenting a threat or injury to others in competition.
Yeah.
Scientific review by EA Alliance states that the available scientific evidence shows that trans women who have undergone testosterone suppression have no clear biological advantage over cis women in elite sports, and advises that any policy developed around transgender athletes should carefully consider there already is a lack of participation of trans athletes anyway. According to the HRC, legislators have repeatedly been unable to justify the need for certain laws that ban their inclusion and admit that very few transgender youth even play. Right? Can you explain in your expertise what is the history of the necessity of having sports separated by gender? I mean, because you watch sports, right? I'm assuming mostly male sports.
I watch probably more women's sports now. Not more than
WNBA is rocking.
Yeah. It's also more accessible than it's like ever been. Right. They show it a lot more on TV than it used to be. Like even volleyball, like they show a lot of women's volleyball now. So, that's a good question. I think it just kind of became the standard for a lot. Like I don't think back in the day there was a lot of like intergender sports or anything like that. Like, people did it for fun, but like it's just always been kind of the way that it's been, like male versus female. I mean, you've seen
unless you're in high school.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a little kid too, because like I feel like sports when you're a little kid are not really broken. Because I didn't really play sports as like a little kid, so everything that I've seen, like I've seen girls play, with boys when they're little kids and everything like that. And then like I guess just as people get older, they kind of I guess the thought process is that as your body matures, like we have to start like separating the genders and everything like that. And it's weird because like for me personally, like I've never like clamored to see men versus women. Like it's never been like it's
out of my way.
It's like never been, but it's like for me, like that could be taken two ways because sometimes like people will say, oh, I don't want to see men versus women because men are superior. For me, it's like I know that a woman could compete like with a man. Like, yeah, maybe, some women can't or whatever, depending on the level of athlete or whatever
but that's
experience.
The same in male-only sports, right?
Yeah.
You put boxers in certain levels.
There are people who
size.
There are people who are good. There are people who are bad. There are people who physically can't match up with other people. Like in combat sports, that's why there are weight classes. Because if you just had like a heavyweight boxer face a guy who weighs 140 pounds, I mean that might not end well. So that happens everywhere. So I probably should do some more research on that.
I just wanted to know, I'm not here to throw you under the bus. I just thought I would ask, could having transgender-only sports appease people on both ends? Even though there's no real transgender play athletes, like, there's not many.
Yeah, there's not that many. Like, even the NCAA, like, they came out with something that said, I think, there was only, like, 10 transgender athletes. The number's not there, I guess, to have transgender only.
Yeah, they're right.
Sports. Yeah. So it's like, that's my thing. And like, maybe I'm going to go on a rant here, but That's my thing when people want to ban transgender women from women's sports, because it's like there aren't that many of them. So for one, it's not like you're overrun. Like everybody always tries to present this image like, oh my God, we're being overrun by these transgender women, like transgender athletes, because nowadays there are only two genders. But they always make this case that, oh my God, we're being overrun and
You're also
everything.
supposed to only have one wife.
Yeah. But like they always make this case that we're being overrun by transgender athletes. And I'm like, where? Like where are they? Because here's another thing, and I'll say this much. Who's to say that there aren't transgender athletes that we don't even necessarily know about?
That is right. And it's nobody's business.
It's nobody's business.
So they have, I guess they have doctors, for specific, just to serve athletes, who give them the clear to play.
Yeah.
The doctors know best.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not an issue that any doctor has raised, that, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I
said,
mean,
this is an unfair advantage.
Yeah, the only sport.
I'm presuming that the doctor knows testosterone levels.
Yeah, the only sport that I would say that, at least in my opinion, that it would be a big issue could be combat sports. But like you'd have to establish an actual standard of what is considered, and you'd have to get a bunch of doctors, not just doctors who are like, we have to get rid of transgender athletes.
When we talk about classes and weight, it's based on body type.
Yeah.
The end. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen photos of at Inauguration Day this past year. Some photos. Our dear leader signing, executive orders, one being that there are only two genders.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his wife is standing behind him getting her non-binary fashion on.
Yeah, I know.
She was leaning in to her non-binary look.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she was. She really was.
Give me a fucking break. While the issue and science of biological gender as an advantage or disadvantage in sports is still being debated, there are scientific studies that have shown that there are proven advantages to being left-handed. According to Orthopedic Specialty Group, have you heard this? Left-handed athletes have an advantage in sports that involve aiming something towards an opponent. So, whether it's baseball,
that's
tennis,
interesting.
Contact sports such as boxing, presumably basketball. Does that mean they should also ban left-handed
Yeah, probably.
people from playing sports with their peers? I mean, why not?
If
we're going by the standard.
If anybody's going to have some type of advantage, then we got to get rid of them. All right-handers, that's it. No more left-handers in sports. But yeah, I guess based on, what people are saying, if somebody has an advantage.
If there was no Special Olympics available, and you brought up the word earlier, which is access, right? If there was no access to Special Olympics, we probably wouldn't see different abled athletes playing. So I'm wondering if there was an option for transgender athletes to play in a league of their own.
A league of their own.
I wonder if that would open the door to more trans athletes becoming interested in sports.
It could. I absolutely think it could.
I'm not for segregation, by the way.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I'm the same. This idea that transgender athletes have like this huge advantage and we got to get rid of them and everything, that's not true. So it's like we're making this push to ban them when it's like in reality they just want the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They just want the opportunity to play or do the thing that they like. That
they love, enjoy. And it brings them joy. It brings other people joy. It's sports. It's inspiring.
Yeah, and like if you look at it, like especially like if you look at like swimming, for example, like Katie Ledecky is one of the best swimmers of all time and everything like that. She's not transgender. Like she's a woman. Like they're period. Like we're not being overrun. It's not like all of a sudden people like just in general, I might be ranting here, but people will always make this case that like people will transition just because it gives them an advantage or anything like that. And I'm like, do you know how hard a life people who go through that have to live? Yeah, like in terms of like just being accepted by society in general. Forget being an athlete. It is ridiculously hard to be like, to live that life. And so this idea that people just
live in your authentic truth.
Yeah.
As to who you are, because hello, we've made it. The system is designed to have made it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is really hard. So any advantage that you think they might get, it almost gets, erased just because they have all of these other obstacles, to face.
That is a very good point. Look at you. I told you were thoughtful.
Thank you.